Emma stood in the corner. Silent. Always silent. Her cousin Rose twirled in silk dresses. Blue ones. Pink ones. Each more beautiful than the last. Emma wore gray wool. Always gray. Like shadows. Like nothing. Look at her, Mother said. Her voice was sharp, cold. Plain as bread. No man will want her. Emma's hands were rough. From work. From cleaning. From serving others. Rose had soft hands. White as cream. Perfect for a lady. Perfect for everything. Emma could never be. Rose practiced her smile in the mirror. The one that made men stop and stare. Emma practiced being invisible. She was better at it.
Why can't you be more like Rose?
Mother asked. Every day, the same question. Emma had no answer. She just wasn't. The letter came at dawn. A rider in fine clothes. A seal with a duke's crest. Mother's hands shook as she read. Duke William needed a bride. Mother smiled at Rose. Her first real smile in months. Finally, our chance has come. But Rose needed help. She couldn't travel alone. Someone must dress her. Fix her hair. Make her beautiful. Mother looked at Emma, the way she always did. Like a tool. A thing to be used. You'll go too. As her maid. Maybe you'll learn something about your place. Emma packed their bags. Her few things fit in one small box. Rose needed 3 trunks. Silk and lace. Jewels and perfume. Everything to catch a duke. Everything Emma would never have. The night before leaving, Emma sat by her window, watched the stars, made a small wish. A foolish one. Maybe someone would see her, not her face. Her heart. But wishes were for people like Rose. Not for shadows like her. The journey was long. 2 days by coach. Rose complained constantly. Too hot. Too cold. Too bumpy. The seats were hard. The food was bad. Everything was wrong. Emma said nothing. She never did. Just listened. Agreed. Fixed what could be fixed. That was her job. Her life. At every stop, men stared. At Rose's. Always at Rose. They helped her down. Brought her water. Smiled their best smiles. Emma pulled her hood lower. Hide the plain face. Hide the work-worn hands. Be invisible. It was easier that way. When we arrive, Rose said, fixing her golden hair. Stay quiet. Don't embarrass me. The Duke is rich, powerful. This is my chance to be a duchess. Emma nodded. She understood her place. Always had. The shadow. The servant. The one nobody saw. The one nobody wanted to see. But deep inside, she had dreams too. Small ones. Hidden deep. Of someone seeing her. Really seeing her. Of mattering. Of being more than just nothing. The coach stopped. Emma looked out the window. Her breath caught. The Duke's home was huge. Stone walls reached up to touch the sky. Gardens stretched as far as she could see. Fountains sparkled in sunlight. This was another world. A fairy tale world. Remember, Mother had said before they left. You're there to help Rose. Nothing more. Don't get ideas above your station. Emma helped Rose down from the couch. Fixed her dress. Smoothed her golden hair. Made her perfect. As always, Rose was good at being perfect. Emma was good at making others perfect. A man waited by the grand entrance. Tall, broad shoulders. Dark hair that caught the light. He must be a servant. Too young to be the Duke. Too kind-looking. Emma looked away quickly. Even servants were above her station. Lady Rose? His voice was deep. Kind. Not what she expected from a Duke's household. Rose giggled. Used her pretty laugh. The one she practiced in mirrors. Yes. I'm here to meet Duke William. The man smiled. But something was strange. His eyes moved past Rose, past all her silk and jewels, landed on Emma, and stayed there. Emma's cheeks burned hot. She stepped back, into shadows where she belonged. Welcome, he said, still looking at Emma. Both? Nobody ever welcomed the maid. Emma's heart skipped a beat. Dangerous. Don't hope. Don't dream. You know your place. You've always known your place.
Sit.
Duke William watched from his window above. The 2 women had arrived. One golden like sunshine. One hidden like moonlight. He'd seen this many times before. Beauty on display. Truth hidden away. He wasn't supposed to greet them. Not proper. But he couldn't resist. He had to see for himself. The cousin who wrote such pretty letters. And the other one. The quiet one who wrote nothing at all. His advisor, James, found him in the hall. You met them already? That wasn't the plan. Your Grace? William shrugged. He'd stopped caring about plans, about what was proper. I was curious. And? Is she suitable? Lady Rose seems perfect. Beautiful. Accomplished. Everything a duke needs in a wife. Perfect. William hated that word. His mother was perfect. Cold as winter stone. Sharp as broken glass. Perfect meant empty. Perfect meant fake. Perfect meant pain. Perhaps, William said. We'll see at dinner. He'd agreed to this arrangement. Find a wife. Produce an heir. Save the family name. Keep the bloodline going. But after Margaret, he wanted something real. Something true. Margaret was perfect too. On the outside. Golden hair. Sweet smile. She'd fooled everyone. Even him. Until he found her. With his brother. In his own bed. His wedding bed. The scandal nearly destroyed him. She'd wanted his money. His title. His power. Not him. Never him. Just what he could give her. Just what he could buy her. The family needs an heir, James reminded him. The line must continue. William knew. Everyone reminded him. Every day. So he agreed to try again. But this time, he'd be more careful. This time he'd look deeper. Lady Rose seemed like Margaret. Same practice laugh. Same flutter of golden lashes. Same way of tilting her head just so. But the other one, she'd tried to hide. Pulled her hood down low. Stayed in Rose's shadow. But he'd seen her eyes. Gray like storm clouds. Honest. Afraid. Real. What about the companion? William asked. Who is she? James checked his notes. Lady Emma. Rose's cousin. Here is her personal maid. Her cousin serves her. The poor relation. Your Grace. Mother died when she was young. Father lost everything gambling. The family took her in. As a servant. Charity. Really. William's jaw tightened. He knew about family cruelty. His own mother, best not to think of her. Of locked rooms and cold words. Of being told he'd never be good enough. Set another place at dinner. For Lady Emma. James frowned. Your Grace, she's a servant. That's not proper protocol. I decide what's proper. In my house. William's voice was firm. Final. She's a guest. She'll be treated as one. William walked away. He had work to do. Letters to write. Accounts to check. The boring parts of being a duke. But his mind wandered. To gray eyes. To hidden faces. To someone trying so hard to disappear. He'd been that person once. After Margaret's betrayal. Wanting to vanish. To not exist. Until he learned something important. You can't hide from yourself forever. Only face the truth. And grow stronger. Set. The sun set slowly. Dinner time approached. William dressed carefully. Not to impress. He'd given up trying to impress anyone. But to show respect. These women had traveled far. They deserved courtesy. Kindness. He entered the dining hall. Rose sat waiting. Stunning in blue silk that matched her eyes. Diamonds sparkled at her white throat. She stood gracefully. Curtsied perfectly. She smiled that practiced smile that never reached her eyes. Your Grace, I'm so deeply honored to meet you. Pretty words. Empty words. Like music without meaning. William nodded politely, but looked past her. Around her. Where is Lady Emma? Rose blinked. Confusion flickered across her perfect features. Emma, she's in her room. She's just a maid. Your Grace, she's your cousin, and she's my guest. Please invite her to join us. Rose's smile cracked. Just for a moment, of course. If you truly wish it. She left with rustling silk. Returned minutes later with Emma, who still wore the same gray dress. No jewels, no silk, no ornaments. But her face, clean and honest and terrified. Lady Emma. William stood, bowed slightly. Welcome to my home. Please, sit with us. Emma's gray eyes went wide with shock. I couldn't, Your Grace. It's not right. It's not proper. I insist. Please. She sat carefully. On the very edge of her chair. Ready to run. Like a wild bird that might fly away. Rose's face was tight with anger. But controlled. Always controlled. Always perfect. William smiled. This dinner would be interesting. Very interesting indeed. Emma's hands shook under the table. Where no one could see. This was wrong. All wrong. Servants don't eat with dukes. They serve dukes. They stay invisible. They know their place. The food looked like art. Too beautiful to eat. Gold plates, crystal glasses, silver forks that gleamed like stars. She didn't know which fork to use first. Which spoon was for what? Rose knew these things. Rose always knew. Tell me about your journey, the Duke said, looking directly at her. Why was he looking at her? Emma's mouth went dry as dust. It was fine, Your Grace. Fine, he smiled. Those kind eyes again. Not mocking, not cruel, just interested. 2 days in a bumpy coach? That sounds rather difficult. Rose jumped in quickly. Her voice was like silver bells. Oh, it was absolutely terrible. The roads were so dreadfully rough, and the inns, barely fit for animals. Really? The Duke nodded politely, but kept watching Emma, waiting. And you, Lady Emma, what did you think of the journey? Emma swallowed hard. The countryside was very pretty, Your Grace. I saw sheep in green fields, and wheat growing tall and golden. You noticed the sheep and wheat. His smile grew warmer. You like simple things. Was that wrong? Emma wasn't sure. Yes, Your Grace. I suppose I do. So do I. He took a bite of his food. I raise sheep on my lands, and grow wheat for my tenants. They're good, honest creatures. The sheep, I mean. Simple, true to their nature. Rose laughed. Her practiced laugh, like tiny silver bells. Sheep, Your Grace. How wonderfully rustic. The Duke's smile faded slightly. Emma felt bad for him. Rose didn't mean to be unkind. She just lived in a different world. A world of silk and parties and pretty things. Sheep give us wool, Emma said quietly. Wool keeps people warm in winter. That seems important. The Duke's eyes lit up like candles. Exactly right, you understand completely. The meal continued. Rose tried her best to charm him. She talked about parties in London, about fashion and music, about all the important people she knew. The Duke listened, polite but distant, like he was somewhere else entirely. Then he turned to Emma again. Do you read, Lady Emma? Yes, Your Grace. Then quickly, worried she'd said something wrong. When I'm able to find books, they're quite precious. What kind of books do you enjoy? Anything at all. Stories about far places. Poems that make you feel things. Even, she hesitated, even books about farming and growing things. Rose laughed again, louder this time. Farming guides. Emma. How terribly dull. Emma's cheeks burned with shame. She shouldn't have said that. Too strange. Too different. Too much like what she really was. Not dull at all, the Duke said firmly. His voice had an edge now. Practical. Useful. Knowledge that helps people live better lives. He looked directly at Emma. I have a large library. You're most welcome to use it whenever you wish. Emma's heart nearly stopped beating. A real library? With real books? More books than she'd ever seen? I thank you, Your Grace. But I couldn't possibly. You can. You will. He turned back to Rose. Both of you are welcome, of course. Rose's smile looked painted on now. How generous of you. After dinner, the Duke stood. It's quite late. You must both be exhausted from your travels. Tomorrow, I'll show you around the estate grounds. They walked back toward their rooms together. As soon as they were alone, Rose grabbed Emma's arm, hard enough to bruise. What exactly do you think you're doing? Nothing. I didn't ask to eat with you. You're embarrassing me. Talking about sheep and farming like some peasant girl. I'm sorry, Rose. I truly am. I'll stay quiet tomorrow. You'll stay in your room. I don't need you getting in my way. Emma nodded quickly. It was better this way. Safer for everyone. She'd stepped out of her proper place. It wouldn't happen again. But alone in her beautiful room, she smiled. Just a little. Just for a moment. He'd asked her opinion. He'd listened to her answers. He'd offered her his library, his books. No, stop thinking like that. Don't dream impossible dreams. You know how this story ends. Rose will marry the Duke. He'll go back to corners and shadows. Back to being nobody. That's reality. That's life. She got ready for bed. The sheets were soft as clouds, so much softer than anything she'd ever slept on. Tomorrow she'd hide again. Be invisible again. It was safer in the shadows. A soft knock came at her door. Emma opened it carefully. A maid stood there. A real maid, with kind eyes and a gentle smile. From His Grace, she said. She handed Emma 3 books. Beautiful books with leather covers. He thought you might enjoy these tonight. Emma's hands trembled as she took them. Real books. One about farming and growing things. One full of poems about love and loss. One with stories of adventure and brave hearts. Please, tell his grace. Thank you. Tell him I'm grateful. The maid smiled knowingly. He's different. Our Duke. He sees things that others miss. Things that matter. After she left, Emma held the books like precious treasures. Which they were. To her they were everything. Maybe she could read tonight. Just tonight. Tomorrow, she'd hide and be proper. But tonight, she had books, and someone had thought of her. Really thought of her. That was enough. More than enough. It was everything she'd ever dreamed of.
What? Shh.
Morning came with golden sunlight through her window. Emma woke early. She always did. Old habits from years of serving others. But here, no bells rang harshly. No one shouted orders. Just peaceful quiet. She dressed in her gray dress. The same one. What else did she have? She owned nothing fine, and wouldn't wear it even if she did. Not her place. Never her place. The books sat by her bed. She'd read far too late. Couldn't help herself. Stories of faraway places, of different lives, of dreams written on paper with ink and hope. A gentle knock at her door. The same maid from last night, Mary, she'd said her name was. Breakfast is ready in the dining hall. His Grace asks, will you join him and Lady Rose? I should. Lady Rose might need me to dress her hair. Mary's face said everything without words. Lady Rose already ate, miss. Early. You said you were feeling poorly, but you don't look sick to me. Emma's stomach twisted with understanding. Rose was still angry. It was better to stay away. Safer for everyone. I'll eat here in my room. If that's allowed. His Grace won't like that much. But, I understand. Mary brought a tray with warm bread and jam. Real jam with pieces of fruit. He asks about you every morning, miss. Every single morning. Every morning? They'd been here 3 days now. Each day is exactly the same. Rose went downstairs. Emma stayed hidden in her room. It was safer this way. No one got hurt. No one got angry. But the books kept coming. New ones every day. With little notes tucked inside. Thought you might like this one. Or this is my favorite poem. Simple words written in strong handwriting. Kind words that made her heart skip. Emma helped Rose dress and fix her golden hair. She said nothing about breakfast. About books. About anything that mattered. Rose was happier when Emma stayed quiet. When she remembered her place. He's almost ready to propose, Rose said, admiring herself in the mirror. I can tell these things. Men are quite simple, really. Show them beauty. Laugh at their silly jokes. Agree with everything they say. They fall in line like trained dogs. Emma nodded and kept braiding. What else could she do? But something inside her felt sad. The Duke didn't seem simple. He seemed complicated. Deep. Like still water that runs deeper than you think. Fix this hem, Rose ordered. It's dragging on the ground. Emma knelt on the floor. Started sewing with quick, sure fingers. Years of practice had made her hands steady. Make others beautiful. Keep yourself plain and useful. That was the rule. You're very good at that. A man's voice. A deep and familiar. The Duke, standing in Rose's doorway. Emma froze like a startled deer. Your Grace. Rose practically sparkled with delight. You really shouldn't be in a lady's private chambers. It's quite improper. He ignored that completely. Kept watching Emma work with her needle and thread. Where did you learn to sew so well? Emma kept her eyes down, fixed on her stitches. My mother taught me, Your Grace. Before she died, she taught you very well indeed. He stepped closer. Emma could see his boots, fine leather, well made. What other skills do you have? William, truly. Rose tried to pull his attention back to herself. Emma's little talents aren't terribly interesting. I think they are quite interesting. His voice was firm but still kind. Please continue, Lady Emma. Emma's cheeks burned hot. Why did he care? I can cook simple meals. Clean and mend things. Tend kitchen gardens. Fix broken items. Nothing special, Your Grace. Everything useful. His smile was in his voice. Unlike dancing fancy steps, or speaking pretty gossip, or other so-called noble accomplishments. The room went silent. Heavy and dangerous. Rose's face turned red, then white. Emma wished desperately that she could disappear. Melt into the floor. Become invisible again. I have a state business to attend to, the Duke said finally. His tone was carefully polite. Lady Emma, would you walk with me? I'd like to discuss something. Emma's heart nearly stopped. I couldn't possibly. Your Grace, Rose needs me here. Actually, I don't need anything, Rose said quickly. Too quickly. Her voice was tight. Go ahead, Emma. Enjoy your walk. A trap? A test? Emma couldn't tell, but the Duke waited patiently, those kind eyes watching her. So she stood slowly, followed him from the room, her heart beating like a frightened bird's wing. Gah! They walked through the grand hallways in silence, past paintings of stern-faced ancestors, past windows that showed rolling green hills. Emma stayed 3 careful steps behind. The proper distance for a servant. The safe distance. The Duke stopped walking, turned to look at her. Please walk beside me, Lady Emma. Not behind me. It wouldn't be proper, Your Grace. I don't particularly care about proper. He waited patiently. I want to have a conversation, not speak behind your back. She moved up slowly, like approaching a wild animal that might startle and run. Don't presume. Don't hope. Don't forget your place. Much better. They continued walking side by side. Tell me honestly, do you like it here? Truth or polite lies? Emma chose carefully. It's beautiful, Your Grace. Like something from a dream. Dreams can be cold places. Empty. Without the right people to share them. What did he mean by that? Emma stayed quiet. Silence was usually safer than words. They reached a door she'd never seen before. He opened it and gestured for her to enter first. Inside was wonder. Pure wonder. Rows and rows of plants in pots. Green everywhere she looked. Warm air that smelled of earth and growing things. Sunlight streaming through glass walls and ceiling. My greenhouse, he said simply. I grow things here. Experiment with new varieties. Try to find ways to help my tenants grow better crops. Emma forgot to be afraid. You do this for your tenants. To help them? Of course. What good is wealth if it doesn't help people? She touched a small plant's leaf. So gently, so reverently. Creating food isn't just work. It's almost sacred. Noble, even. His whole face lit up with joy. You really understand that, don't you? She nodded, then caught herself. But I'm nobody, Your Grace. My opinions don't matter to anyone. You are not nobody. His voice was fierce now, passionate. Never say that again. Not in my presence. Not anywhere. You matter, Emma. Your thoughts matter. Your feelings matter. You matter. Emma's eyes filled with tears. She couldn't let fall. Don't cry. Don't hope. Don't believe in impossible things. But his words, they planted tiny seeds. In the careful garden of her guarded heart. Now, he said gently, let me show you how to help these plants grow. Shat! Days melted into weeks like honey and sunshine. Emma found her rhythm in this strange new life. Early mornings in the greenhouse before Rose woke up. Before questions and anger and complication, William taught her everything. Which plants loved shade, and which craved sunlight. How to mix rich soil that would feed growing roots. When to water and when to let earth rest. How to read the language that leaves spoke. You learn faster than anyone I've ever taught, he said one morning. Pride clear in his voice, like her success mattered to him. Like she mattered to him. Emma's hands grew dirtier each day, stained with honest earth, but her heart grew lighter. Plants didn't care about pretty faces or golden hair. They just grew toward whatever light they could find. Try planting these. William handed her a packet of tiny seeds, herbs for cooking and healing. I thought you might enjoy them. I could make things with these. Emma's excitement bubbled up before she could stop it. Soups that heal sickness. Teas that soothe pain. Even medicines for fevers. You know about healing herbs? She nodded eagerly. My mother taught me before she died. Simple country remedies. Nothing fancy, but they help people feel better. Show me everything. Teach me what you know. So she did. Mixed dried leaves and roots with careful hands. Explained what each plant could do. How to prepare them safely. He listened with complete attention, asked thoughtful questions. Even took notes in a leather book. This knowledge is valuable beyond gold, he said seriously. My tenants need this wisdom. Could you possibly teach them? Me, teach other people? Emma nearly laughed with surprise. Your Grace, I'm not qualified to teach anyone anything. You know things that help people live better lives. That makes you more qualified than most teachers I know. The next week brought the most surprising day of Emma's entire life. They visited the tenant farmers. Simple, hard-working people. Families who lived in small cottages with gardens and chickens. People like her father had been before gambling destroyed their family. This is Lady Emma, William announced to a group of farm wives. She knows about healing plants and herbs. I've asked her to share her knowledge with all of you. The women welcomed her warmly. No one cared that her dress was gray and plain. No one judged her work rough hands or simple speech. They wanted to learn. They needed to learn. And somehow, she could teach them. She showed them which plants stopped bleeding from cuts, which ones eased the pain of childbirth, how to dry herbs properly so they keep their strength through winter months. The women listened carefully, asked good questions, thanked her with genuine gratitude. "You have a gift," one elderly woman said, patting Emma's hand. "A real gift for healing. Don't let anyone tell you different." Walking back to the great house, Emma felt different, tell her, somehow. Like she took up more space in the world. Like she mattered in ways she'd never imagined possible. "You were wonderful with them," William said quietly. "Natural, kind, exactly what they needed. I enjoyed it more than I can say. They made me feel useful, important, even. Because you are important." He stopped walking, looked directly into her eyes. "I hope you're beginning to see that about yourself." That night, Emma sat by her window, looking at stars. The same stars she'd wished on before leaving home, but everything had changed. She had changed. Like a plant that finally found the right soil and sunshine. She was learning to grow, learning to bloom, learning that maybe, just maybe, she was more than the shadow she'd always believed herself to be. But happiness, Emma was learning, could be as fragile as new spring flowers. Rose grew colder each day, meaner, like ice forming over a pond in winter. She'd stopped asking Emma to fix her hair or mend her clothes, stopped speaking to her at all, really, except to give sharp orders that cut like glass. "The Duke is delayed this morning," Rose announced one day. "Some tedious business with his steward. We'll walk in the garden without him." They walked in silence through perfectly trimmed hedges and flower beds. Rose's silk dress rustled with each step. Emma's worn boots made no sound on the gravel paths. "You think you're quite clever, don't you?" Rose said suddenly. Her voice was sweet as poisoned honey. "What do you mean?" "Playing innocent, making him feel sorry for you with your sad little story." Rose's mask was slipping, showing the anger beneath. "Did you really think I wouldn't notice?" Emma's heart began to race. "You don't understand. He barely looks at me anymore, barely speaks to me. All because of your pathetic attempts to get his attention." "Rose, that's not true. I've done nothing wrong." "Nothing wrong?" Rose's laugh was harsh, bitter. "You eat at his table, walk in his private gardens, spend time alone with him, like you're some kind of lady instead of what you really are." "What I really am? A servant, a charity case, a burden my family took in out of pity." Rose's blue eyes glittered with cruelty. "Did you forget? Your father was a drunk who lost everything. Your mother died in shame. You have nothing. You're a nothing." Each word hit like a physical blow. Emma stepped backward. "Yeah, I know my place." "Do you? Because it seems like you've forgotten completely." Rose moved closer. "Let me remind you. Your place is in the servants' quarters. Your place is taking my orders. Your place is being grateful for whatever scraps my family throws your way." Emma's eyes filled with tears. She refused to let fall. "I've never forgotten, not for a single moment." "Good. Then you'll remember tomorrow, when the Duke proposes to me, when I become his Duchess, when you go back to being what you've always been. Nothing." Rose walked away with her head high and her silk skirts swirling, left Emma standing alone among the beautiful flowers, feeling smaller than she had in weeks, feeling like that frightened girl in the corner again. That evening Emma didn't go to dinner, couldn't face sitting at that grand table, couldn't pretend everything was normal when her world had cracked apart. A knock came at her door. Mary, the kind maid, with a worried expression. "His Grace asks why you weren't at dinner." He seemed quite concerned. "Please tell him I'm not feeling well." "Which is true. He wants to see you, to make sure you're all right." "No," Emma said quickly. Too quickly. "I mean, that's not necessary. I just need rest." Mary studied her face. "Did something happen? You look hurt." Emma forced a smile. "Nothing happened. I'm just tired." But Mary wasn't fooled. Lady Rose came back from her walk looking quite pleased with herself. "And you came back looking like someone had died. That's not a coincidence." "Please, Mary, just tell His Grace. I'm fine. I'll be better tomorrow." After Mary left, Emma sat on her bed holding one of the Duke's books, the book of poems about love and loss, and finding hope in dark places. Tomorrow Rose would likely get her proposal. Tomorrow this strange dream would end. Tomorrow, Emma would remember exactly what she was, and what she wasn't. But tonight, she could read about love, even if it would never be hers. With Selin, Emma woke to urgent knocking. Mary burst in without waiting for permission. Her face was pale with worry. "You must come quickly. There's been an accident in the village. A fire at the miller's cottage. People are hurt. Emma was dressed and running before Mary finished speaking. In the courtyard, a horse waited. Not a gentle mare for ladies. A real horse for real riding. Can you ride? William asked. Already mounted, his face was grim with concern. Yes, Emma had learned as a child. Before everything fell apart, before they lost the horses along with everything else. He pulled her up behind him. No time for proper saddles or side saddles or any of the things ladies were supposed to use. Emma held on tight as they galloped toward the village. The miller's cottage was half destroyed. Smoke is still rising from blackened timbers. People stood around looking lost and scared. A woman sat crying while a man held his burned hand against his chest. The herbs, Emma said, sliding down from the horse. I need my healing herbs, and clean water, and cloth for bandaging. William didn't question, just helped gather what she needed. Emma knelt beside the injured man first. His hand was badly burned, red and blistering. This will hurt at first, she said gently, but it will help the healing. She cleaned the burn carefully, applied a paste made from healing plants, wrapped it in soft cloth. The man's wife watched with tears of gratitude. Thank you, lady. Thank you for helping us. Lady, not a servant, not a charity case. Lady. Emma moved to the next person, a child with smoke in her lungs. Then an elderly woman with cuts from flying glass. She worked steadily, calmly. Her hands were sure and gentle. How did you know to do that? A village woman asked. About the herbs for burn. My mother taught me simple remedies that really work. She'd be proud of you today, the woman said. You're saving lives with what she taught you. William worked beside her, following her instructions without question, treating her like an equal, like someone whose knowledge mattered, whose skills were valuable. Hours passed. The sun moved across the sky. Finally, everyone was treated, bandaged, given medicines to take home. The immediate crisis was over. You were extraordinary, William said as they rode home. Calm under pressure, skilled, caring. You saved that man's hand. Probably his life. Emma felt something new growing inside her chest. Pride, maybe. Or confidence. I just did what needed doing. Most people panic in emergencies. You didn't even hesitate. He was quiet for a moment. You're remarkable, Emma. I hope you're beginning to see that. They reached the manor as the sun was setting. Rose waited in the courtyard. Her face was a storm of anger and jealousy. Where have you been all day? I needed you here. There was an emergency in the village, William explained calmly. Emma helped save several lives today. Emma? Rose's voice was sharp. She's not trained in medicine. She could have made things worse. She knew exactly what to do. Her skill with healing herbs is remarkable. Rose's mask slipped completely. She's a servant, a nobody. She has no business playing doctor. The words hung in the air like poison. William's face went very still, very cold. What did you just say? I meant, Rose tried to recover, but it was too late. You called her a nobody, in my hearing, after she spent the day saving my people's lives. William, I didn't mean... Yes, you did. His voice was quiet, but deadly. You meant every word, just as you've meant every cruel thing you've said to her. Rose went pale. You've been listening to her lies about me. I've been watching, seeing how you treat someone you claim as family, someone who serves you loyally. William stepped closer to Rose. And I've seen enough. Emma stood frozen. This was her fault. She'd caused trouble between them, ruined Rose's chances. Your Grace, she started to say. Please don't. No, Emma. William's voice was gentle but firm. This conversation is long overdue. Prep. The great hall felt different that evening. Colder, somehow, despite the fire blazing in the massive fireplace. Emma sat at the edge of her chair, ready to run. Rose sat perfectly straight, her mask back in place, but cracked around the edges. William paced by the windows. His usual calm was gone, replaced by something harder, more decisive. I've made my decision, he announced. About marriage, about the future. Rose's face lit up with hope. She smoothed her golden hair and straightened her silk dress. Oh, William, I'm so happy. I'm not marrying you, Rose. The words fell like stones into still water. Rose's face went through several changes. Shock, disbelief, anger, then calculation. You can't mean that. We're perfect together. I'm everything a duchess should be. You're everything I thought I wanted, William agreed. Beautiful, accomplished, well-bred. But you're not what I need. Then what do you need? Rose's voice was getting higher, more desperate. William looked directly at Emma. I need someone real, someone kind, Someone who sees people as human beings, not as things to use. Emma's heart stopped beating. Surely he didn't mean. He couldn't possibly. You want her? Rose pointed at Emma like she was something disgusting. That plain little mouse? That servant? I want Emma, William said clearly. If she'll have me. The room spun around Emma. This was impossible. Dukes didn't marry servants. Rich men didn't choose plain women over beautiful ones. This didn't happen in real life. Emma, William's voice was gentle now. Look at me, please. She raised her eyes to his, saw something there that made her breath catch. Something warm and real and true. I'm not offering you what I offered, Rose, he continued. A marriage of convenience. A business arrangement. I'm offering you my heart. My real heart. Your Grace. Emma's voice was barely a whisper. I'm nothing. Nobody. You could have anyone. I don't want anyone. I want you. The woman who saves lives with gentle hands, who makes plants grow with patient care, who sees the good in everyone, even those who hurt you. Rose made a sound like a wounded animal. This is insane. She has nothing. No money, no family, no position. She has everything that matters. William never looked away from Emma. Kindness. Intelligence. Real beauty that comes from inside. And courage, though she doesn't know it yet. Courage? Emma almost laughed. I'm the most cowardly person alive. You left everything you knew to help your cousin. You learned new skills even when people mocked you. You saved lives today without hesitation. You've survived cruelty with your heart intact. William stepped closer. That's not cowardice, Emma. That's extraordinary bravery. Emma felt something breaking inside her chest. Not breaking apart, breaking open. Like a shell that had kept her hidden for too long. But I don't know how to be a duchess. I don't know about parties and protocols, and you know how to heal people, how to grow things, how to be kind when the world is cruel. That's what this duchy needs. That's what I need. Rose stood up sharply. This is ridiculous. You can't seriously choose her over me. I already have. William's voice was final. I'll arrange for your comfortable journey home tomorrow, with appropriate compensation for your travel and time. You'll regret this. Rose's beautiful face was ugly with rage. When you remember what she really is. When society laughs at you for marrying beneath yourself. Society can think whatever it likes. I know what Emma is. She's the woman I love. Love. He'd said love. Emma's legs gave out. She sat down hard in her chair. Emma? William knelt beside her chair. Are you all right? I know this is sudden. You love me. The words came out like a prayer, like hope she'd never dared voice. Completely. Absolutely. From almost the first moment I saw you, his smile was soft and real. When you tried so hard to be invisible, when you talked about sheep and wheat like they mattered. When you chose books about farming over novels about romance. But I'm not beautiful like Rose. You're beautiful in ways Rose never could be. Beautiful here. He touched her hand. And here, he touched her heart. That's the beauty that lasts, Emma. That's the beauty that matters. Emma looked into his kind eyes. Saw truth there, saw love there, saw a future she'd never dared imagine. Yes, she whispered. Yes, I'll marry you. If you're absolutely certain. I've never been more certain of anything in my life. Rose stormed from the room in a rustle of silk and fury. But Emma barely noticed. She was too busy learning what it felt like when impossible dreams came true. The wedding was small, simple, nothing like the grand society event Rose had planned and dreamed about. Emma wore a dress of soft blue wool, not silk, not satin, but clean and well-made and comfortable. William wore his finest coat, but his eyes were what made him handsome. The way he looked at Emma like she was the most precious thing in his world. The village people came. The families Emma had helped during the fire. The tenant farmers who'd learned about healing herbs from her gentle teaching. They filled the small chapel with genuine joy and warm wishes. She's a real lady, Emma heard one farmer's wife whisper. Kind and helpful. She'll make a good duchess for us. Emma's heart swelled. These people saw her worth, valued her contributions, made her feel like she belonged somewhere at last. The ceremony was beautiful in its simplicity. No grand orchestra. Just the village choir singing with heartfelt voices. No elaborate decorations. Just spring flowers from the estate gardens. No hundreds of fashionable guests. Just people who actually cared about their happiness. When William slipped the ring onto Emma's finger, he whispered, Thank you for seeing past my title to my heart. Thank you for seeing past my appearance to my soul, she whispered back. Mary cried happy tears from the front pew. Even James, The serious advisor smiled genuinely as he watched his duke choose love over duty. It's 2 years later, Emma stood in her expanded greenhouse. Now it was 3 times larger, filled with healing plants and food crops and experimental varieties that might help the estate's families live better lives. She wore a simple green dress, comfortable for working. Her hands were as earth-stained as ever, but now she wore William's ring alongside the dirt under her fingernails. The new mothers in the village are all healthy, she reported to William as he entered with mud on his own boots. The herbs we planted last spring are working perfectly, and the wheat experiment, growing beautifully. We should have enough seed to share with every tenant farmer next season. William smiled and pulled her into his arms. Have I mentioned lately that I love you, Duchess Emma? Only every day, she smiled back. Have I mentioned that you chose well when you picked the mouse over the golden bird? You were never a mouse. You were a seed waiting for the right soil to grow in. They worked side by side as the sun set, planning next season's crops, discussing which villages needed medical visits, making decisions that would help real people live better lives. Emma had learned something important in these 2 years. Beauty wasn't about golden hair or silk dresses or perfect smiles. Beauty was about growing things, healing things, making life better for others. She'd also learned that love wasn't about being perfect. Love was about being real, being kind, being brave enough to let someone see your true heart. That evening, they received a letter. Rose had married a wealthy merchant in London, a man who valued her beauty and social skills. By all accounts, she was happy with her fashionable life and important parties. I'm glad for her, Emma said, and meant it. She found what she wanted, and so did we. So did we, William agreed. Though I got far more than I wanted, I got everything I needed. As night fell over their estate, Emma looked out at the gardens they'd planted together, the villages they'd helped improve, the lives they'd touched with simple kindness. She'd come here as nobody, a shadow in gray wool. She'd found love, purpose, in a place where she belonged. Most importantly, she'd found herself. The real Emma, who'd been hidden inside all along. Sometimes the most beautiful love stories weren't about glass slippers or fairy godmothers. Sometimes they were about 2 real people who saw past surfaces to souls, who chose kindness over beauty, who grew something lasting in simple, honest soil. Emma had learned to bloom, and in blooming, she'd helped others find their own light. That was better than any crown, better than any title, better than any fairy tale ending she could have imagined. Love, she discovered, grew best in real gardens, with real hands and real hearts that chose each other every single day. Anna stood in the corner of the cold kitchen. Her face was plain. Her hair was dull brown. She was too tall, too quiet, too strange for her family's liking. No man will ever want you, her mother said. The words cut deep into Anna's heart. They always did. Her mother's voice was sharp like winter ice. Look at your sisters. They have pretty faces, soft voices. Men love them. She paused, staring at Anna with cold eyes. But you read books instead of learning to be charming. You help sick animals instead of practicing conversation. You ask too many questions instead of staying quiet. Anna's 2 sisters giggled from across the room. They were everything she wasn't. Beautiful, popular, wanted. The village called Anna odd, different, wrong. The baker's wife whispered about her. The priest shook his head when he saw her. Even children pointed and laughed. Anna tried to be smaller, quieter, but nothing worked. Nothing was ever enough. Then one gray morning, everything changed. A letter arrived. Heavy paper, dark wax seal. Her father's hands shook as he read it. We're ruined, he whispered. His face went white as snow. I owe money, lots of money, to Lord Marcus Grey. Anna's mother went very still. Everyone knew that name. Lord Grey, the cruel lord from the northern mountains. How much money? Her mother asked. But her voice was different now. Calculating, cold. Everything, her father said. More than everything. He could take our house, our land. Everything we own. Her mother smiled then. A horrible smile, like a snake ready to strike. Wait, we have something he might want. Anna's heart stopped beating. She somehow knew what came next. Lord Grey needs a wife, her mother said slowly. His first wife died. They say he killed her, but, she shrugged. He still needs someone to cook, to clean, to serve. Her sisters gasped. Everyone in the kingdom knew about Lord Marcus Grey. He was harsh, mean, cold as winter. His first wife died young. Some people whispered he murdered her. Others said she died of fear. Please, No, Anna begged. Her voice was small and broken. Please don't send me there. But her mother just laughed. A sound like breaking glass. You should thank me, she said. No other man would ever have you. You're too plain, too odd, too useless. She paused. At least this way, you're finally good for something. The deal was made that very day. Anna was sold, like cattle at market, like goods in a shop. Her father couldn't look at her. Pack your things, he mumbled. The carriage comes at dawn. Anna went to her tiny room. She packed her few belongings, her 3 books, her dried herbs for healing, the small wooden bird her brother carved before he left home. She sat on her thin bed and cried, silent tears that no one would see. Tomorrow, she would leave. Forever. I'm sorry, her father whispered at her door. He still couldn't meet her eyes. So very sorry, Anna. But sorry meant nothing now. Sorry wouldn't save her from Lord Grey. Sorry I wouldn't bring her home. The carriage came at dawn, black as midnight, cold as death itself. Anna climbed inside with her small bag. Her family watched from the doorway. No one waved goodbye. No one said they'd miss her. As the horses pulled away, Anna pressed her face to the window. Her home grew smaller, smaller, then gone. She was truly alone now. The driver was an old man with kind eyes. Don't believe all the stories, miss, he said softly. Not everything people say is true, but Anna believed every word, every terrible story. Lord Grey would hate her plain face, her quiet ways, her strange habits. The land grew darker as they traveled north. Thick trees blocked the sun. Everything felt cold, dead, like hope itself was dying. Almost there now, the driver said. Through the fog, Anna saw it. The castle. Huge dark stones, tall black towers, like a monster waiting to swallow her whole. This was her prison now, her tomb. The gates opened with a terrible grinding sound. Her new life was beginning. A life with the cruel Lord Grey, the man who bought her, who owned her now. Anna wiped her tears away. She stood as straight as she could. If she was going to die, she would die with dignity, not crying, not begging. The carriage stopped. Anna stepped out into the cold mountain air. Wind cut through her thin cloak. She pulled it tight around her shoulders. Welcome. The voice was soft, gentle, not what she expected at all. Anna looked up and froze. A man stood before her. Tall and strong. Yes. But his eyes were kind, warm, even. Sad, but not cruel. I'm Marcus, he said quietly. Marcus Grey. Your husband. This was the cruel lord. This man with gentle eyes, with a sad, soft smile. Anna stared. Nothing made sense. But one thing was perfectly clear. Her life had just changed forever. Marcus Grey was not cruel. Not really. But he let the whole world think he was. It was easier that way. Safer for his heart. He stood in his study now, watching rain fall against tall windows, thinking about the girl, Anna, his new wife. She had looked so scared, so small and frightened. Of course she was afraid. Everyone feared him. That was exactly what he wanted. But inside he felt only sadness. 5 years ago, everything in his life changed. His first wife, Sarah, died in this very castle, not by his hand. Never that. She was sick, so terribly sick. He tried everything to save her. Every doctor in the kingdom, every medicine, every prayer. Nothing worked. When Sarah died, Marcus died too. Inside his heart, where it mattered, the rumors started immediately. He killed her, people whispered in dark corners. Lord Grey is a monster, they said at market. Stay away from that cursed castle. Marcus never fought the lies. Why bother? The truth hurt so much more. He had failed Sarah, failed to save the woman he loved more than life itself. That felt worse than murder. So he hid away in his castle. With his books, his work, his endless guilt, he became the monster they said he was. Cold, distant, cruel to anyone who came close. But debts must be paid. Anna's father owed much money. Too much. The man was a fool. He gambled away everything, drank away the rest, left his family with nothing. Please, Lord Grey, the man had begged, tears streaming down his face. Take my daughter, as payment for what I owe. Marcus almost said no. He didn't want another wife. Didn't want to risk his heart again. Then he heard about Anna, the strange one, the unwanted one, the daughter who healed sick animals, who read books in secret, who asked questions that made people uncomfortable, just like Sarah used to do. Maybe he could help this girl. Give her a home where being different was safe. A place far away from that cruel family who didn't see her worth. Fine, he told Anna's father. Send her to me. Now she was here. Scared and alone. Thinking he would hurt her just like everyone else had. His butler, James, knocked softly and entered. She's in her room, sir. Crying very quietly. Marcus nodded. Of course she was crying. She thought she'd been sold to a monster. Give her time, Marcus said. And James? Make sure she has everything she needs. Books, if she wants them. Warm clothes. The best food we have. James smiled knowingly. He had worked for Marcus for 20 years. He knew the truth. Marcus Gray was kind, too kind, sometimes, too gentle for this harsh world. Yes, sir. Should I tell her about Lady Sarah, about what really happened? No, Marcus said quickly. Let her rest tonight. Tomorrow will be soon enough to begin. Tomorrow he would try to show Anna that she was safe here, wanted here, valued here, even if she couldn't believe it yet. He walked to his desk and picked up Sarah's portrait. Her face smiled back at him. Beautiful, kind, gone forever. Protect someone, Sarah had whispered with her last breath. Don't stay alone forever, Marcus. Promise me. Marcus touched his gold wedding ring. Still there after 5 years. Always there. He wasn't ready to love again. Might never be ready. The pain was still too deep, too raw. But he could be kind to Anna. He could give her the home she'd never had. The respect she'd never received. The safety she deserved. The rain finally stopped. Pale sunlight broke through gray clouds. Maybe it was a sign. Maybe hope was still possible. Marcus sat at his desk and pulled out clean paper. He began to write carefully. Rules for the castle, he started. Then crossed it out with his pen. Too harsh, too cold. Welcome to your new home, he tried instead. Much better. He made a list. Her own beautiful room. Her own private space. Freedom to read any book she wanted. Freedom to learn, to grow, to be herself without fear. No demands from him. No cruelty. No force. No expectation. Just kindness, safety, respect. All the things she'd never had before. All the things every person deserved. Marcus sealed the letter with warm wax. Tomorrow, Anna would understand. He wasn't the monster people said he was. He was just broken, damaged, alone, like her. Maybe two broken people could help each other heal. Not with love. That was asking too much. But with understanding, with friendship, with basic human kindness. It would have to be enough. For now. Morning came too soon for Anna. She hadn't slept at all. How could she? Every sound in the castle made her jump. Every shadow looked like danger creeping closer. The soft knock came at her door. Polite. Gentle. Come in, Anna whispered. An older woman entered. She had a kind face and warm, tired eyes. Her smile was real. I'm Mrs. Bell, she said. Head of the household staff. Lord Gray sent up breakfast for you. Anna stared in shock. Breakfast? For her? But she was nobody. Nothing. The silver tray was piled high with food. Fresh eggs. Warm bread with butter. Sweet jam. Hot tea that smelled like heaven. More food than Anna had seen in months at home. Is this some kind of mistake? Anna asked quietly. Mrs. Bell laughed. The sound was soft and completely real. No, dear child. Lord Gray specifically said to make sure you eat well. Very well indeed. Anna didn't understand. Why would he feed her so much? Unless he wanted her healthy and strong. For whatever terrible thing came next, fear crept up her throat like ice. Lord Gray would like to see you, Mrs. Bell continued. When you're ready, of course. No rush at all. No rush. That was completely new. At home, Anna jumped immediately when called. Or she faced her mother's sharp hand across her face. Anna ate slowly. Every bite felt like a gift. The food was incredible. Better than anything she'd ever tasted. She felt guilty enjoying it so much. When she finished, she put on her best dress. It was still shabby and plain. Still marked her as poor. But at least it was clean. Mrs. Bell led her through the castle halls. The place was enormous. But it was also warm. Fires burned in every room. Fresh flowers sat on polished tables. Sunlight streamed through clean windows. Not what Anna expected from a monster's home. They stopped at massive wooden doors. Anna's heart began racing like a wild horse. He's waiting inside, Mrs. Bell said gently. She squeezed Anna's cold hand. Don't worry, dear. He's very different than you think. Anna knocked with shaking fingers. Come in, called the same gentle voice from yesterday. She pushed open the heavy door and stepped inside. The room took her breath away. Tall ceilings, warm firelight, and books. So many books. Her eyes went wide with wonder. More books than she'd ever dreamed existed. Marcus stood by a huge window. When he turned, he smiled. A real smile that reached his sad eyes. "Good morning, Anna. Did you sleep well?" She almost lied to be polite, then decided not to. "No, my lord. I was very scared." He nodded slowly. Understanding filled his face. "I know. This must be incredibly hard for you." Hard? That was all? No anger at her fear? No punishment for admitting weakness? "Please, sit down," he said kindly. "We should talk." Anna sat on the edge of a soft chair, hands folded tight in her lap, waiting for rules, demands, orders about her duties. Instead, Marcus handed her a folded paper. "I wrote this last night. For you." Anna read with growing amazement. Then read again to make sure. Her own room. Access to all these books. Freedom to walk anywhere. No demands. No cruel treatment. "I don't understand," she said quietly. "What do you want from me?" Marcus sat across from her, not too close, giving her space to breathe. "Nothing," he said simply. "Just be yourself. Read if you want to. Learn whatever interests you. Heal animals if that makes you happy. This castle belongs to you now too." Anna's eyes filled with tears. She couldn't stop. "But I'm plain, strange, completely useless. My mother always said..." "No." Marcus's voice was firm but not harsh. "You are none of those things. Your family was wrong. Very, very wrong about you." He stood and walked to the wall of books. "These are yours now. All of them. I heard that you love to read." Anna stood too. She touched one book with trembling fingers. Real leather binding. Gold letters on the spine. Beautiful beyond words. "Why?" she whispered. "Why are you being kind to me?" Marcus was quiet for a long moment. Then, "Because everyone deserves kindness. Especially people who've never had any." A bell rang somewhere in the castle. "Lunchtime. Would you eat with me?" Marcus asked carefully. "Only if you want to. No pressure at all." Anna nodded. Still confused, still a little scared, but also curious. They walked together through the halls. Not touching, but together. The dining room was bright and cheerful. Two place settings waited, close enough to talk, far enough apart to feel safe. They ate and talked a little, about books, about the castle, safe, easy things. "Can I ask you something?" Anna said. "Always," Marcus replied immediately. "Are you really cruel like everyone says?" Marcus smiled, sad but completely honest. "No, but sometimes it's much easier if people think I am. They leave me alone that way." Anna understood that feeling perfectly. Being alone, being different, being hurt by others. "I will never hurt you," Marcus said quietly. "Ever. That's a promise. I swear on my honor." Anna looked into his eyes. Something inside her said to believe him, to trust this strange, gentle man. Maybe this wasn't punishment after all. Maybe it was escape from her family's cruelty, from their constant hatred. Maybe Lord Grey, Marcus, was actually her chance at something better, something real and good. Only time would tell. But for the first time in years, Anna felt something completely new growing in her chest. Hope. To let. Days became weeks in Anna's new life. She found her rhythm slowly, like learning to dance to music she'd never heard before. Wake early with actual excitement. Eat breakfast without fear. Then, real freedom for the first time in her life. Anna explored every corner of the massive castle. Every room held wonders. Every hallway led to new discoveries. No one stopped her. No one yelled at her for being curious. The library became her sacred place. Hundreds of books lined the walls. Stories from distant lands. Knowledge about healing plants. Poetry that made her heart sing. Marcus gave her a writing desk of her very own. Polished wood that smelled like roses. Paper. Ink. Quill pens. "Write whatever you want," he said simply. "Your thoughts. Your dreams. Stories. Anything at all." They ate lunch together every single day. At first they spoke carefully about safe things, books they both read, weather, castle life. But slowly, they began sharing more. "What did you want to be?" Marcus asked one afternoon, before all this happened. "A healer," Anna said without thinking. Then blushed at her boldness, like the wise woman in our village. She knew which plants could cure sickness, which herbs could ease pain. She looked down, but mother always said it was a waste of time. Marcus leaned forward with interest. The East Tower has been empty for years. Would you like to see it? It might make a perfect healing room. Anna's mouth fell completely open. Really? My own workspace? Your own workspace, Marcus confirmed. James will help you get whatever supplies you need. That very afternoon, Anna climbed the winding stairs to see her new domain. The tower room was perfect. Huge windows let in streams of sunlight. Fresh air carried the scent of herbs from the garden below. Thank you, Anna told Marcus at dinner. Real dinner together now, not the careful formal meals from her first days. No one has ever given me anything like this before. You deserve so much more than this, Marcus said quietly. So very much more. Anna started small with her healing work. She gathered herbs from the castle garden, made simple teas and salves. When Mrs. Bell complained of aching joints, Anna brewed her a special mixture. The pain disappeared completely. Word spread through the castle staff like wildfire. The stable boy cut his hand badly. Anna's healing salve made it heal clean with no ugly scar. You have a real gift, Marcus said with pride in his voice. A truly amazing gift. Anna blushed deeply. Praise was still so new, so strange, but also wonderful. Her mornings changed completely. She still woke early, but now with excitement bubbling in her chest. Things to do, people to help, real purpose in her life. She spent hours working with her herbs, reading medical books that Marcus provided. Sarah collected these, he mentioned once. Very quietly. Anna didn't push for more information, but she understood. Sarah was his first wife, the one who died too young. Evenings became the best part of each day. Anna and Marcus sat by the warm fire, reading together, sometimes taking turns reading aloud. You have a lovely voice, Marcus told her. Clear and pleasant to hear. Lovely. He called something about her lovely. Anna's heart did strange, fluttering things. Marcus taught her to play chess. He was patient and encouraging. Think ahead, he said. You're incredibly intelligent. Use that gift. Anna actually won games sometimes. When she did, Marcus smiled with genuine pride and joy. The castle staff began treating Anna with real warmth. They saw her kindness, her willingness to help anyone in need. Her healing touch eased their pain. You're so good for him, Mrs. Bell whispered one day. Lord Grey smiles now. He even laughs sometimes. Anna noticed the changes too. Marcus carried less sadness in his shoulders. The shadows in his eyes were lighter now, but he still kept a polite distance between them. Never touched her. Never pushed for anything more than friendship. Just kindness. Respect. Space to grow. Anna was changing as well. Standing straighter when she walked, speaking more clearly, believing in herself bit by bit. She wrote a short letter to her father. I am well here, happy, even. Thank you for sending me. No response ever came. Anna didn't expect one. Didn't need one anymore. This was home now. One rainy afternoon, Marcus was late for lunch. He was never late for anything. Anna began to worry. She found him in his study, head buried in his hands. A letter spread open on his desk. What's wrong? Anna asked. She was brave enough now to show that she cared. Marcus looked up with red, exhausted eyes. Nothing important, just old memories haunting me. Anna glanced at the date written on the letter. Something about today was significant. Sarah? She asked very gently. Marcus nodded slowly. 5 years ago today. 5 years since I lost her forever. Anna did something that surprised them both. She reached out and touched his shoulder lightly. A simple comfort. I'm so sorry, she said with feeling. So very sorry for your pain. Marcus covered her small hand with his larger one. Just for a moment. Thank you, Anna. Thank you for understanding. They sat together in comfortable silence. Sometimes shared quiet is better than any words. That night at dinner, Marcus spoke from his heart. You make this place feel alive again. Thank you for that gift. Anna smiled. A real, genuine smile. You saved me from them. From that terrible life I had before. Perhaps we saved each other, Marcus said softly. Perhaps they had. Two wounded souls finding peace together. Finding purpose. Finding friendship. Yes, friendship. That's exactly what this was. Warm and safe and completely real. Anna went to bed truly happy for the first time in her entire life. Tomorrow she would work more. Learn more. Help more people. Life was good now. Different than she'd ever imagined. But wonderfully, amazingly good. She was wanted here, needed here, valued for who she really was. For the first time ever, Anna truly belonged somewhere. Winter arrived early that year. Anna barely noticed the cold. She was too busy, too happy, too completely alive. Her healing room in the tower flourished like a garden in spring. Shelves lined with carefully labeled herbs, medical books filled with knowledge, and people, so many people seeking her help. "Please, my lady," the young maid begged with tears in her eyes. "My daughter won't eat anything. She grows thinner every day. I'm so scared she'll die." Anna listened with her whole heart. Really listened to every word. She made a special tea from gentle herbs that would encourage appetite. Within days, the little girl was eating again, laughing again, playing like a normal child. "You're a miracle worker," the mother cried through happy tears. "A true miracle." Anna shook her head humbly. "Not a miracle, just knowledge, just caring enough to try." Marcus often watched her work from the doorway, quiet and observant, pride shining clearly on his face. "You're absolutely amazing," he said one evening. "Do you know that?" Anna still blushed at compliments. "I just help people. That's all I do." "No," Marcus said with firm certainty. "You heal them, body and soul. There's a big difference." Word about Anna's gifts spread beyond the castle walls. The village people heard stories about the Lord's wife, the healer, the kind woman who asked for nothing in return. At first they came nervously, scared of the castle, terrified of the cruel Lord Grey. But Anna welcomed everyone with the same warm smile, the same gentle hands, no judgment for their fear or their poverty. A farmer brought his son with a badly broken arm. Anna set the bone straight and wrapped it with expert care. "How much do we owe?" the farmer asked, counting his few coins. "Nothing at all," Anna said firmly. "Just tell others that I'm here to help anyone who needs it." News traveled fast through the countryside. The cruel Lord's wife wasn't cruel at all. She was kind beyond measure. She was skilled beyond belief. Marcus supported every part of Anna's work. "What do you need?" he would ask, daily. "More books? Different supplies? Better equipment?" Anna made careful lists. Marcus provided everything without question or complaint. Just complete, loving support. She learned more each day, studied late into the night by candlelight, practiced new techniques each morning. "You're becoming completely different," Mrs. Bell observed with a knowing smile. "Stronger, more sure of yourself." Anna felt the changes deep inside. Confidence, growing like spring flowers. Voice becoming steadier each day. At dinner, she talked more freely now. Shared her ideas without fear. Made suggestions without apologizing. "The village needs a proper healing house," she told Marcus one evening. "Somewhere close by for emergency." Marcus nodded thoughtfully. "Excellent idea. We'll have one built. You can design it exactly how you want." "We," he said, "we." Like they were partners. Like equals working together. Anna drew detailed plans by firelight. Marcus helped with practical suggestions, adding his thoughts, making her vision even better. "You're so intelligent," he said with admiration. "Incredibly smart and creative. Why did your family ever make you feel stupid?" "Control," Anna answered simply. "Keep me small, keep me weak, keep me from knowing my own worth." Marcus's jaw tightened with anger. They were fools, cruel, blind fools. Anna reached across the table, touched his hand briefly. "But their cruelty led me here, to this life. To you." She paused. Maybe everything happened exactly as it should. Marcus stared at her small hand on his. Something shifted in his eyes. Something warm and wandering. "Anna," he said softly, "you're not just healing others anymore. You're healing me too." Their eyes met across the candlelit table. Anna's heart began beating faster, different than before, like something was awakening inside her chest. Marcus pulled his hand away gently, but slowly, like he didn't really want to. We should get some rest," he said quietly. Anna nodded. But neither of them moved for a long moment. Something was changing between them. Growing, becoming more than friendship. Anna went to bed with her heart racing. Marcus's words echoed in her mind. "You're healing me too." What did that mean exactly? And why did the thought of it make her feel so wonderfully, terrifyingly alive? Right. Spring arrived like a gentle promise. The castle grounds burst with new life. Flowers bloomed in every garden, and something else was blooming too. Anna's confidence had grown strong as oak trees. She walked with purpose now, spoke with certainty, smiled with genuine joy. Her healing practice served the entire region. Nobles and peasants alike sought her help. She treated everyone exactly the same. "You're famous," Marcus said with pride. "People travel for days just to see you." Anna laughed. The sound was light and free. Good. Healing shouldn't be only for the wealthy. Marcus watched her with an expression Anna couldn't quite read. Soft, wondering. Like he was seeing her clearly for the very first time. They spent more time together now. Walking in the gardens. Reading by the fire. Talking late into the evening hours. Tell me about Sarah, Anna said one night, brave enough now to ask difficult questions. Marcus was quiet for so long. Anna thought he wouldn't answer. Then he began to speak. She was like you in many ways. She's intelligent, kind. She loved books and learning. His voice grew soft with memory. She wanted to be a healer too, just like you became. Anna listened without interrupting, letting him share his pain. When she got sick, I tried everything. Every doctor in the kingdom. Every possible cure. Marcus's hands trembled slightly. Nothing worked. I watched her fade away, day by day, and I was completely powerless. Tears filled Anna's eyes. I'm so sorry. That must have been terrible beyond words. When she died, people started rumors. Said I killed her. I let them believe it. Marcus looked directly at Anna. It was easier than admitting the truth. That I failed her completely. Anna reached for his hand without thinking. You didn't fail her. You loved her. Sometimes, love isn't enough to stop death. That's not failure. That's just being human. Marcus stared at their joined hands. How did you become so wise? Pain teaches wisdom, Anna said simply. You taught me that. Something electric passed between them. A connection deeper than friendship. Marcus lifted their joined hands, gently kissed Anna's knuckles. The touch was soft as butterfly wing. Anna, he whispered. I think I'm falling in love with you. Anna's heart stopped completely, then started beating twice as fast. I love you too, she whispered back. The words came without thought, pure truth from her soul. Marcus cupped her face with gentle hands. Are you sure? Really sure? Anna nodded. More sure than I've ever been about anything. He leaned closer, stopped just inches from her lips. May I kiss you? Please, Anna breathed. Their first kiss was soft, tentative, perfect. When they broke apart, both were breathing hard. I never thought I could love again, Marcus admitted. You healed that broken part of me. Anna smiled through happy tears. You healed me first, made me whole. They sat together in comfortable silence, hearts full, souls connected. Will you marry me? Marcus asked suddenly. Really marry me? Not just the arrangement your father made. Anna laughed with pure joy. We're already married, remember? That was business, Marcus said seriously. This would be love, choice, real partnership. Yes, Anna said immediately. Yes, to all of it. Marcus pulled her close. She fit perfectly against his chest. I want to do this right, he said. Coach you properly. Show you how precious you are. You already do that every day, Anna murmured against his shoulder. But Marcus was determined. The next morning brought flowers, poetry written in his careful hand, small gifts that showed how well he knew her heart, a new set of medical books, rare healing herbs from distant lands, a beautiful silver locket with both their names engraved inside. You're spoiling me, Anna protested. Good, Marcus replied with a grin. You deserve to be thoroughly spoiled. The castle staff watched their romance bloom, with knowing smiles. Love was in the air like perfume. About time, Mrs. Bell muttered happily. Both of you needed each other desperately. Anna's healing work continued flourishing, but now she had a true partner supporting every dream. They planned the new village healing house together, designed it for maximum help to the most people. We'll staff it with trained healers, Anna suggested. Teach local women the skills they need. Perfect, Marcus agreed. Education and healing combined. Word of their love story spread through the region. The cruel lord who wasn't cruel at all. The unwanted daughter who found her true worth. People began calling it a fairy tale come to life. But Anna knew better. This wasn't magic or fantasy. This was what happened when two wounded souls chose to heal together. When kindness was met with kindness. When love was allowed to grow, slowly and naturally. It was real. It was earned. It was absolutely perfect. But their happiness was almost too good to be true. Anna should have known it couldn't last without challenge. The letter arrived on a Tuesday morning. Anna recognized her mother's harsh handwriting immediately. Marcus found her in the garden, staring at the unopened letter with trembling hands. What's wrong, my love? He asked gently. It's from my mother, Anna whispered. I'm afraid to read it. Marcus sat beside her on the stone bench. Would you like me to read it first? Anna shook her head. No, I need to do this myself. She broke the wax seal with steady fingers. Read silently. Her face went pale. then flushed with anger. They're coming here, she said quietly. My parents and sisters. They want to visit their dear daughter who married so well. Marcus's jaw tightened. What do they really want? Anna laughed bitterly. Money, of course. Father's gambling debts have gotten worse. They think I can convince you to help them. What do you want to do? Marcus asked. Anna stood up straighter. Let them come. I'm not the same person they sold away. They need to see what they lost. Marcus smiled with fierce pride. My brave, strong wife. 3 days later, Anna's family arrived in a fancy hired carriage, dressed in their finest clothes, putting on a show of wealth they didn't possess. Anna waited in the main hall. Marcus stood beside her, united, strong. Her mother swept in first, all false smiles and theatrical gestures. My darling Anna, she cried. How wonderful you look. Marriage agrees with you so well. Anna didn't move to embrace her. Hello, mother. Her father followed, hat in hand. Nervous, ashamed. Anna, my dear girl, you've grown up beautifully. Her sisters entered last. Their eyes were wide with envy at the castle's obvious wealth. My lord, Anna's mother said, with an elaborate curtsy to Marcus. Thank you for taking such good care of our precious daughter. Marcus's voice was ice cold. Your precious daughter? The same daughter you called useless, plain, unwanted. Anna's mother faltered slightly. Oh, you misunderstand. We always treasured Anna. Enough, Anna said clearly. Her voice rang with authority. I know why you're really here. Her family exchanged uncomfortable glances. Anna, dear, her father began. We've had some financial difficulties. Gambling debts, Anna corrected firmly. The same problem that made you sell me in the first place. Her mother's false smile slipped. Now see here, young lady. You owe your family. I owe you nothing, Anna interrupted. Less than nothing. She walked closer to her family. They actually stepped back from her confidence. Let me tell you what I've learned, Anna said clearly. I'm not useless. I'm a skilled healer who saves lives every day. I'm not stupid. I run a successful practice and design buildings. I'm not worthless. I'm loved and respected by hundreds of people. Her sisters stared in shock. This wasn't the quiet, broken girl they remembered. You were wrong about everything, Anna continued. Every cruel word you ever said to me was a lie. Her mother's face twisted with rage. You ungrateful little... That's enough. Marcus stepped forward. His voice was dangerous. You will not speak to my wife that way. Not in our home. Your wife, her mother sneered. You mean the payment for a debt? The consolation prize no real man wanted? Anna felt Marcus tense beside her, but she placed a gentle hand on his arm. I'll handle this, she said quietly. Anna walked to the window. She looked out at the village where people loved and respected her. Do you see that village? She asked her family. Those people travel for days to seek my help. They call me a miracle worker. They bless my name. She turned back to face them. Do you see this castle? This is my home. These are my people. This is the life I built from nothing. Her voice grew stronger with each word. You sold me thinking I was worthless. But you were blind. You couldn't see my true value because you were too small-minded to recognize real worth. Anna looked directly at her mother. I forgive you for your cruelty, but I will never forget it. And I will never let you hurt me again. Her father stepped forward. Anna, please. We're family. No, Anna said firmly. Family protects each other, supports each other, love each other. She gestured to Marcus. This man is my family now. Marcus moved to stand beside her. Anna is everything you said she wasn't. Beautiful, intelligent, valuable beyond measure. Your loss is my greatest gain. Anna's mother made one last desperate attempt. Surely you can spare some money for the people who raised you. The people who raised me. Anna laughed. You mean the people who told me I was worthless every day? Who made me believe I deserved nothing? She walked to her mother, looked her straight in the eye. I'll give you exactly what you gave me, Anna said quietly. Nothing. The silence stretched long and uncomfortable. Finally, Anna's father spoke. Perhaps we should leave. Yes, Marcus said coldly. You should. As her family prepared to go, Anna's youngest sister whispered, Anna, I'm sorry for how we treated you. Anna softened slightly. Then learn from this, Grace. Treat others with kindness. You never know who might surprise you. After they left, Anna collapsed onto Marcus's chest. Not from weakness, but from relief. I'm so proud of you, Marcus murmured into her hair. So incredibly proud. I couldn't have done it without you, Anna said. You made me strong enough to face them. No, my love. That strength was always inside you. I just helped you find it. Anna looked up at her husband with eyes full of love. They were wrong about everything, but especially about one thing. What's that? Anna smiled. They said no man would ever want me, but the best man in the world chose to love me. Marcus kissed her deeply. And I choose you again every single day. They stood together in their beautiful home, surrounded by love and respect and genuine happiness. Anna had faced her past and conquered it. She was no longer the unwanted daughter. She was exactly who she was meant to be. 2 years later, Anna stood in her new healing house in the village center. Sunlight streamed through tall windows onto shelves lined with medicines. The sound of children's laughter drifted from the teaching room next door. Lady Anna, called young Tom, the baker's son. My mother sent me to thank you. Her cough is completely gone. Anna smiled and ruffled his hair. Tell her to come see me if it returns. And remember what I taught you about washing hands before touching food. Tom nodded seriously and ran off to spread the word. Marcus appeared in the doorway, watching with that same expression of wonder he'd worn for months. What are you thinking about? Anna asked. How different you are from the frightened girl who arrived at my castle, he said softly. And how you were always exactly who you are now. I just couldn't see it at first. Anna walked to him, straightening his collar with familiar affection. We both changed each other. The village council wants to officially name this place, Marcus said. The Anna Gray Healing Center. Anna blushed. That's too much. No, it's exactly right. You saved more lives than any doctor in the kingdom. The commotion outside caught their attention. Through the window, they saw a fancy carriage approaching. Royal banners flew from its sides. Are we expecting anyone? Anna asked. Marcus shook his head, equally puzzled. The carriage stopped. A richly dressed man stepped out, followed by several attendants. That's Lord Chancellor Harrison, Marcus said with surprise. What could you want here? They walked outside to greet the unexpected visitor. Lord Grey, Lady Grey, the Chancellor said with a deep bow. I bring greetings from His Majesty the King. Anna and Marcus exchanged confused glances. The King has heard remarkable stories about Lady Anna's healing work, the Chancellor continued. Stories of a woman who heals both noble and peasant with equal care, who asks nothing in return, who has saved countless lives. Anna felt heat creeping up her neck. I just do what I can to help people. Exactly why His Majesty wishes to honor you, the Chancellor smiled. Lady Anna Gray, by royal decree, you are hereby named Royal Healer of the Realm, the first woman ever to hold such a position. Anna's mouth fell open in shock. The Chancellor continued. Furthermore, the King wishes to fund healing centers like this one in every major city, with you overseeing their development and training. I don't know what to say, Anna stammered. Marcus wrapped his arm around her waist. Say yes, my love. The kingdom needs you. Anna thought of all the people she could help with royal backing, all the women she could train, all the lives that might be saved. Yes, she said firmly. I accept the honor. Word spread through the village like wildfire. Within hours, people gathered to celebrate their beloved healer. That evening, Anna and Marcus sat in their favorite spot by the castle fire. The royal decree lay on the table between them. Royal Healer, Marcus mused. My wife, the most important medical authority in the kingdom. Anna shook her head in amazement. Remember when I thought I was worthless? When did I believe everything my family said about me? You were never worthless, Marcus said firmly. You were just surrounded by people too blind to see your light. Anna curled up against his side. Do you think Sarah would approve of us? Of what I've become? Marcus was quiet for a moment. Sarah always said love multiplies when it's shared. She would be thrilled that her medical books helped save lives, that her husband found happiness again. I wish I could have met her, Anna said softly. In a way, you did. Every time you heal someone with knowledge from her books, she's there with you. Anna smiled at the thought. 3 women connected across time by compassion and skill. What would you tell that frightened girl who arrived here 3 years ago? Marcus asked. Anna considered carefully. I would tell her, you are not what they said you were. You are not plain. You are unique. You are not useless. You are invaluable. You are not unwanted. You are desperately needed. She paused, looking into the fire. And I would tell her that the man who seems so scary will become the love of your life. That the castle that feels like a prison will become the home of your dreams. Marcus kissed the top of her head. What else? That someday the king himself will recognize your worth. That you'll heal thousands of people. That you'll train dozens of other healers. That your work will outlive you by generation. Anna turned to look at her husband. But most importantly, I would tell her that she was always a princess. She just needed to find the right kingdom to see it. Marcus cupped her face gently. You found your kingdom, and your kingdom found its queen. Their kiss was soft, full of love earned through trials, full of respect built through partnership, full of joy that came from becoming exactly who they were meant to be. Outside, snow began to fall. But inside the castle, two hearts beat in perfect rhythm. Anna had been sold to a cruel lord who turned out to be the kindest man alive. She had been called worthless by people who couldn't recognize true value. She had been treated like nothing by those who had everything wrong. But in the end, she found exactly what she never dared to dream of. A love that saw her worth. A home that celebrated her gifts. A life that honored her heart. She had been sold as payment for a debt. But she was treasured like the priceless gift she had always been. Anna Grey, royal healer, beloved wife. The princess who found her way home.